Namaste and greetings. Welcome to Be My Guest. Today, as my guest, I have Sri Angajan. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here again.
Many of our viewers would know Sri Angajan. He is an accomplished management philosopher, behavioral scientist, life coach, corporate consultant, author, and much sought after speaker. He conducts value-based executive development workshops and seminars for senior corporate personnel, business executives, entrepreneurs, professional, political leaders, scientists, school children, and other professional groups. His workshops are content-rich, proven to deliver strong return on investment. Sri Angajan has been a keynote speaker for several prestigious events and conferences. Today, we are going to be talking on the law of gratitude. Namaste and welcome again.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm going to leave it for you to do us a presentation for the next 20 minutes. Is that all right?
Yes, absolutely. One of the very important attitude in life is the attitude of gratitude, a spirit of thankfulness. It is this attitude that produces, or the attitude of gratitude that produces so many other positive disposition, positive emotion, positive attitude. In fact, William Shakespeare, in his play Julius Caesar, he goes one step further, saying that absence of gratitude, or to be ungrateful, is one of the worst sin a human being can commit. Ingratitude more strong than traitor's arms quite vanquished him, says William Shakespeare. So, in fact, when we are going through stress, unhappiness, agitation, anxiety, and all kinds of mental disturbances, one of the antidote for all these negative thought process is gratitude. It is one medicine for many diseases, mental diseases. The moment we switch our focus on what we don't have, immediately we are actually entertaining an attitude of ingratitude. And when you switch our mind from what we don't have to what we have, immediately your mind gets filled with the spirit of gratitude. So, first of all, why it is important, and number two, how to develop it. So, these are the two aspects that I am going to cover.
Oh, perfect.
Why it is important? Because it keeps our mind peaceful. None of us in this world are provided with everything that we have desire for. We have desire for so many things. But although we have desire for so many things, it may not be possible that we are able to get everything that we want. But when we are focusing upon what we don't have, when we are agitated, that's when will be agitated. We are unhappy, we are stressed, and when we supplement with the spirit of gratitude, what happens is you experience a sense of serenity, peace, contentment. In fact, there is a saying that I had no shoes and complained until I met a man who had no legs. When we compare ourselves with people who are much less privileged than we are, immediately you feel a sense of gratitude. So, how do we go about developing the attitude of gratitude? There are 3 steps. Number 1, the first of the 3 steps is awareness of what we have received from the world. We got to be acutely conscious of all the blessings that we have received. Right from the time we are born till now, there are so many blessings that we receive from various sources. We received benefit from nature, from the society, from the government, from our parents, from the peers, from every sources. But what happens is a lot of people are not aware of these blessings that we have. When we are not conscious of these blessings, immediately our mind slips into ingratitude. So, to develop, first of all, be conscious of what we have received. When we are conscious of what we received, it leaves your mind with a spirit of thankfulness, gratitude. In fact, one of the Indian scriptures, Indian literatures talks about 5 things that you got to be extremely grateful for. First of all, they call it gratitude to gods. Now, the gods referring to, it is not the God, the supreme reality. The gods referring to is the various elements of nature, the water, the wind, the fire. You know, every aspect of our life is made of these 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. So, the gratitude to water, because why do we need to be grateful to water? I mean, that seems to be an insentient, lifeless aspect, but no, it has got life in it. When we say that, supposing if the water element were to misbehave, there will be disaster. Too much of water or too little water, there will be catastrophe. So, gratitude to these elements of nature, gratitude to air, you know, from the time we are born, we have been breathing oxygen, isn't it? Did we ever think of paying our oxygen bill? We pay for water, we pay for electricity, we pay for rates and taxes and so many things we provide. And some of the essential things in nature comes free. So, you know, supposing, God forbid, if one were to get admitted in a hospital, and at the time of you getting discharged from the hospital after a week or 2 being in the hospital, and if you have been given oxygen, and when you get the oxygen, when you get the cost of oxygen, that's when you realize how expensive it is. You know, so there are many things that we take it for granted. So when we take these invaluable provisions that nature provides, take it for granted, that is when we become ungrateful. So the first thing is gratitude to gods. The second aspect of gratitude is gratitude to our ancestors. You know, if you are healthy, if you are mentally peaceful, if you have a wonderful family life, it is not just because of your credit only. You know, our ancestors, our forefathers, our parents, grandparents, great grandparents, and so on and so forth, their genes that we have received, if they have lived an unhealthy, indisciplined life, we will be receiving those kind of those genes, isn't it? So we are likely to be indisciplined. So gratitude to our ancestors, it's so crucial.
So I know I said you can present for the whole 20 minutes, but I would have a question now. How do you serve gratitude to your ancestors? And it sounds like a simple answer, but
you know, different faiths, different cultures do it differently. In fact, where I come from in South Africa, the African indigenous people, one of their very prominent ritual is they pay their gratitude to their ancestors through their ritual. When you go to India, they also pay. You know, they have a whole month that is dedicated to worship of ancestors. That is, it's called Pitru Paksha. It's come in the month of September, October. But you know, it's not only for the Africans or the Indians or the indigenous Americans or Aborigines in Australia, everybody, because the fact that we are healthy and we are peaceful, we owe it to our ancestors. So all that we need to do is that when we wake up in the morning, remember these things: gratitude to the elements of nature. Secondly, gratitude to our ancestors. So our immediate ancestor is our parents, our grandparents, so and so. You know, how very often you come across people, our parents have sacrificed so much for ourselves, and once we become probably in our 20s, a lot of people don't even worry about their parents, you know. So how do we pay, to answer your question, how do we expect our gratitude to our ancestors? Obviously, we don't know how our great grandparents are, we can't do anything to them. So what we can do is express our gratitude to our immediate, you know, the ancestors, which are our parents. Take care of them, look after them, find out what their needs are. You know, if we are not grateful, it affects us, our future as well.
Well, right here in the U.S., you know, it's a beautiful country. For one of the things they do is they do pay, show gratitude to, for instance, our veterans. When you have Veterans Day and you have Memorial Day, when we remember our
ancestors,
those were people that fought in our war and things like that. That's also gratitude. Absolutely. Because we are now living in this country peacefully because these people had sacrificed their lives, and we're definitely grateful for all of that.
Yes, it's fantastic to have a day dedicated to gratitude to our ancestors, veterans, etc. But we cannot just remember that particular day, but it must be a
It's
part of our
all the
life
time.
every morning.
Yes.
In fact, our day, as soon as our eyes are open, the first thought should flood our mind should be a spirit of gratitude. At least I'm awake now.
I have,
And
I'm
every-
living today, I'm
absolutely.
breathing.
You know, the fact that we are living, and there are numerous things that we can be grateful for.
Oh, yes.
You know, gratitude to ancestors, and then gratitude to our teachers,
Oh,
our
yes.
gurus, our preceptors. You know, there are a galaxy of great men or women of knowledge who has contributed to the science that we have today, the technology and the spiritual knowledge, like the Hindu scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, the Bible, the Quran, any scriptures for that matter. You know, the fact that those scriptures are available to at our beck and call for our benefit, we need to express our gratitude to our teachers, our prophets, our pastors, the sages and saints, etc. Gratitude to the teachers. And the third aspect of gratitude is gratitude to society, the people around.
Oh, yes.
You know, if you are living in a society, living in a suburb, where everybody, almost every household are stressed, unhappy, miserable, their unhappiness will affect you and me living in that suburb. So we got to make sure that the society that we are living around are peaceful, happy. You know, gratitude to the people. You know, for example, we can see the lights lit all around here, isn't it? The fact that we have light available here, electricity, there are thousands of people are working 24/7 behind the scene. You know, some of them they work in the night shift, some of them work in the day shift. If they don't do those sacrifices, we won't have the luxury that we have today. So all those people who make sacrifices for us, gratitude to them. And lastly, the fifth element of gratitude is gratitude to animals, gratitude to birds, the plants, the insects. You know, some of the insects that we call them as pests and destroy, they play a very crucial role in the sustenance of the ecosystem. All right. For example, they say that if the bees become extinct, human race cannot live more than 50 years. Human race will be extinct. We are only talking about one species like bee, and the life of bees are in peril in America or anywhere for that matter, because we use pesticides and so many other chemicals for our cultivation, etc. So gratitude to these insects, gratitude to animals, gratitude to plants. You know, animals that are in the ocean, in the land, submarine animals, subterranean animals, all these creatures play a very crucial role.
Oh, yes.
You know, without those insects pollinating the fruits and vegetables, etc., we won't have food to eat, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
So we take things for granted. So when we are taking things for granted from all these sources, that indicate we are leading a life of ingratitude. You can have the best of luxuries, you can have a palatial mansion, you have the most luxurious cars available, you can have wealth available. None of those will give us happiness, peace, contentment that we are looking for. But even if you don't have all those luxuries and provisions, if your mind is filled with the spirit of gratitude, you can rest assured that person can be peaceful and happy. You know, we don't have to go very far to be happy. You can find happiness right here. Simply fill our mind with the spirit of gratitude, and it has to start from the day, you know, in the morning, as soon as you wake up in the morning.
And that gratitude leads to so many, you know, such a smooth day.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, it brings happiness. You know, you could add a tie in happiness with gratitude. You can
Everything.
It's
It's a two sides of the same coin. You know, without gratitude, or when you have gratitude, happiness goes with that.
And I know you spoke about the 5 elements and paying gratitude. None of us really think of the earth that we walk on daily.
Absolutely.
You know, that's where our good
food
is coming from.
The food is coming from, and not only that, one of the powerful laws of the earth is the law of gratitude. I beg your pardon, the law of gravity.
Gravity, right.
The gravitational force, we take it for granted. If one law like law of gravity is not functioning, there will be disaster. You know, we can't live. You know, the medical science says the fluid in the body is balanced and maintained because the law of gravity is functioning, isn't it?
Yes.
And you know, sometime when we trip and fall, we might even complain about the gratitude, but we rather trip and fall rather than in not having the gravitational force. So, similarly, the atmospheric pressure, the right temperature, to understand the impact of these elements. For example, if you want to set up a family on moon, just imagine. If you want to set up a family on moon, do you know how many thousands of things that you need to take care of?
Oh.
Whereas if you want to set up a family in beautiful city in Boston, you need to make sure that you got a good job, you need to have a good house, electricity, and water. Probably you cannot think more than 15, 20 things, because rest of it is taken care of by somebody. So there is some supreme providence beautifully orchestrating the entire cosmos, the entire universe, the entire earth. To that supreme providence, my gratitude, my salutation. So as soon as you wake up, the first thought should be that gratitude to that providence. You can call God, you can call Father in heaven, you can call Allah, you can call Vishnu, you call what you want. But the truth is that there is a supreme providence beautifully orchestrating the entire cosmos. And we cannot afford to destroy that. We got to maintain. So when you live a life with a spirit of gratitude, you will find the universe harmonizes your life. Universe put things, everything, the universe puts in order.
Aligns everything.
It aligns everything. It aligns everything with the laws of the universe. That's why it's a very important law, to live the law of gratitude.
Yeah, our parents and grandparents, you always see first thing in the morning they get up and they go and salute the sun.
Salute
and
the sun.
The yoga has sun salutation.
It is.
And that's the form of gratitude.
Exactly. Because we are, the human being are basically solar beings. I mean, we receive our energy from solar.
Yes.
If that's not there, we won't have the energy, although it is coming indirectly through vegetation, food that we eat, etc. But the truth is that we are basically solar beings. So it is absolutely vital, like in the Indian tradition, like you said, almost every household, they pay their obeisance, gratitude to sun.
To the sun, first
because
thing
that's
in
where
the morning.
we receive our energy from.
Right, and like you said, yoga is caught up with everybody.
Absolutely.
And one of the main things they do the sun salutation.
Salutation, Surya Namaskar.
Surya Namaskar, gratitude.
Playing our salutation to sun, because that's our main source of energy.
Right, and then now we spoke about the earth, we spoke about the sun, and we talk about it's immense gratitude with everything, really.
Exactly. I mean, it is numerous to count. There are thousands of factors contributed. You may not be able to remember all of those, and it's probably may not be even practical, but select a few things from nature, select a few things from our ancestors, select a few things from our organization, the government. Sometimes people tend to be cynical or a bit pessimistic about certain government of the country that they live in. But the truth is that, yes, not all the government at all time may not be the best type that we want. But the truth is that we receive benefit from the government, from the society, from nature, from parents, from the school, from the educators, countless, Well, so we cannot live a happy life without the spirit of gratitude.
Well, I'm now going to, I know we didn't discuss this before, but I'm just going to bring it anyway. You're talking about education and gratitude, and I think the children of South Africa are so fortunate to have you.
I feel privileged to be living there as well.
As we said, you spent 30 years of studying research in the Vedanta and life mastery, and you spearheaded the life mastery. Can you give me a little bit more?
Yes, the Life Mastery Foundation, which I have been privileged to have established in South Africa, we have a number of objectives. Our primary objective is education, not the conventional academic education which has been done all over the world, but the conventional academic education teaches you how to make a living.
Right.
Now, the Life Mastery Foundation is focusing upon how to live effectively. There are many people in this world, millions of people, who learned how to make a living comfortably. They don't necessarily know how to live effectively. Why? If you see in the world, divorce rate is increasing at an incredible proportion. Stress and stress-related diseases, that is increasing, and so many other social challenges. Why is that? Because people, they know, they have education as to how to make a living. They don't know how to live. When we say how to live, I mean how to maintain a proper relationship with the world. That is a technique, that's an art. So the primary objective of Life Mastery Foundation is to empower, especially the younger generation, the youth. Before we do a number of youth life readiness convention. In fact, just before I came to United States couple of weeks before, we had a youth convention wherein about 2,000 grade 12 learners participated, and it was a life-changing experience for them. And I hear it from them,
And might I add to my audience, these were all free to these grade 12 children.
Absolutely.
To learn how to live their lives.
Absolutely. All our services are provided fully free, of course. We don't charge anything for our services as much as possible. And now and then we do have a fundraising events, etc. But most of the services are completely free, of course, simply because, again, talking about gratitude, when you're aware of what you're receiving, that awareness of what you received gets saturated in your mind. It gets crystallized in your mind. When that awareness of what you received is saturated, automatically, without you knowing, you begin to live a life of giving. You live a life of serving and sacrifice. When you say giving doesn't mean that you got to start writing a check for everybody. That's not what you're talking about. Even when you're working for a company, you're running a business, you're a householder, you're a housewife or house husband, or an educator or teacher or a student, whatever it is. When we are doing what we are doing with an intention of, I want to add value to the recipient, I want to add value to the community that I'm living, then you are living a life of giving.
Right.
So that is the power of gratitude. When the gratitude is saturated, you begin to look in life, whom can I help? You're always looking around, where can I add value? What difference can I make in other people's life? And then you find life becomes a worth living. It is a series of joy thereafter. There will be fluctuation, ups and downs, but nothing will bother you, nothing will disturb you.
Just take the day as it comes.
Day as it comes.
And I believe that these causes have been very well received by
the youth. Yes.
By the youth.
Yeah, we have a customized courses for youth, particularly the high school children, and then primary school children, and of course the young adults. We have courses customized for marriage. All right, the young couple who's entering the institution of marriage. Now, it is to establish a successful relationship in marriage with your spouse is an art. It's a skill. Just because you get married and you have a wonderful spouse doesn't mean that we know how to relate to the person properly. So we have course relating to successful marriage and parenting. That's another huge challenge that people face.
Yes.
Especially when both the parents are working. Today, children grow right under the eyes of the parents as orphans, because parents are so busy, they don't get time from, children don't get time from the parents.
And what the other thing is, when I was growing up, we had extended family living with.
That's right.
Okay, I still was a little privileged in that sense. We didn't have, but we had them in and out of our home.
Right.
But in this society, we don't have that luxury.
Absolutely.
Of having that, and with the people moving out and things, we don't even have people you can relate to.
Yes.
So
that's one challenge. We don't have that kind of setup. Adding to that, what contribute, which is within our control, is that many parents believe parenting is about financing the children.
Yes.
They believe parenting is, I earn a lot of money and leave a big bank balance for the children. Parenting is not financing. It is this misconception that motivates many parents to, both the parents working very hard to earn a big livelihood, money, etc. But when we understand that parenting involves much more than earning, financing, then they balance it out.
Yes, that's a very fine line, because there are some people that are trying very hard
to make
yes, but
meet.
The way the work is now, when I was growing up, it was just 8 to 5 and that's it. But with all this modern technology, it's not anymore. So it is a very challenging times that we live in.
It is.
And I'm sure, as I am grateful for you coming in this afternoon, or coming in today and having this nice talk with us. I'm sure the children of South Africa are grateful, and all over the world that you go to.
Yes, wherever I get invited to speak, I make my way and meet the audience and talk, and then I feel that's my purpose, and my passion, my purpose, and I can't think of any happiness more than living my passion,
Yeah,
great joy.
And I wish I was a youth today attending your cause and doing all of this.
No, we have adults calls also.
Yes, you did tell me so.
And customized for I mean, each levels in the society, the children, the youth, the young adults, then the adults, the married couples, and marrying couples, and the youth, etc. So it's been a great experience, great journey for the last 30 years into venturing into expound this knowledge of Vedanta.
So what I neglected to speak about the beginning is you're actually an engineer by profession.
Yes, I studied engineering, and I realized that that is not my passion. That's not my purpose. That's not my calling. And eventually, I came across the beginning to understand the knowledge of Vedanta. I met my guru, Swami Parthasarathi, and I realized that this is what I want. You know, there's no looking back thereafter.
Yeah, and like we said in the introductory, you talk about just about anything. It's not just Vedantic philosophy. It's just philosophy.
That's why it's called our organization called Life Mastery Foundation, because it encompasses every aspect of life. If you want to be successful professionally, we have a course for that. If you want to be successful as a household, as a married couple, we have a course for that. If you want to be a successful athlete, you know, what are the pitfalls an athlete face? We customize courses for them. You know, so these are, so therefore it's life mastery. Like mastery. You know, if you want to be a good chef, we'll tell them what are the thoughts and emotions, feelings that you need for that. Every aspect of it.
So as we are grateful for your services, how can the public help you to get your cause through?
More than one ways they can help. Primarily, they can help by taking advantages of this knowledge, number one. Secondly, facilitating our foundation, Life Mastery Foundation, to promote this knowledge, you know, in whatever way they can assist, you know, support the Life Mastery Foundation and reach out this knowledge. And it is a dire need in the society today.
So how can we contact you?
You could visit our website, which is called lifemastery.vision. www.lifemastery.vision, and that'll give you the entire details as to what our objectives and mission and all those kind of things. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me on Be My Guest. Thank you, the viewers, for listening in. Till we meet again. Namaste. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
Take care. Bye.